what's good? If y'all hit that sub, you'll have that good luck, man. We reacting to 5 times when Sean O'Malley shot the MMA world, man. Let's get it. Shout out to y'all MMA fighters.
Sugar Sean O'Malley.
Brother.
You Irish?
A lot of people don't like that I'm Irish, but I'm Irish.
As much as we don't want to admit it, there is one thing in life and sports that you cannot overcome. It's father time. Time is relentless and fleeting. We just have to accept that our favorite fighters are soon going to have their well-deserved ride into the sunset. Conor McGregor is a great example as he is turning 34. However, there is another Irish fighter who can at least partially give us that McGregor-esque aura. Dear friends, today's video is dedicated to 5 most impressive performances of Sean O'Malley. Please don't forget about the likes, comments with 4 words, and subscription to the channel so you never miss out on the videos. Here we go. David Nuzzo. At 15 years of age, Sean O'Malley dedicated his life to the sport of mixed martial arts. He started to train in kickboxing, and by the age of 18, he was actively performing in MMA as an amateur. Sean had 5 wins and just 1 loss. He made his professional debut in March 2015, racking up a decent streak of 6 wins. Most of his wins were by knockout. On May the 5th, 2017, Sean O'Malley had a fight after which he was noticed by the world's biggest league, and I am going to dissect how that happened. From the very first second of the fight, O'Malley was putting in work with his kicks. He was not letting David to pressure him by throwing good countering shots. 1.5 minutes into the fight, Sean throws a combination of double jab and right overhand. A moment later, Sean drops Nuzzo with a high kick. The rest of the fight was a beating. Sean knocks down Nuzzo once again, and a few seconds after closes the show with a magnificent spinning wheel kick.
Now Nuzzo's been dropped 3 times. That is good night, Irene. That is freaking brilliant. How good is this kid?
What a great number of flashy kicks from Sean in this fight. Of course, UFC couldn't help noticing this spectacular kid. Alfred Kashakian. After his brilliant win over David Nuzzo, Sean takes part in Dana White Contender Series show. Right off the bat, he was a lot more prominent compared to other fighters due to his extraordinary appearance. A skinny dude with curly hair who can take out some university nerd at best. But as the saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover. At the very least, it was quite interesting to see what Sean is capable of.
With this opportunity, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to knock this kid out. He's similar to the last 3 guys I fought. He's a orthodox striker, he's too slow. I'm going to come out there, bounce in front of him, his confidence is going to go down, I'm going to kick him in the body, I'm going to kick him in the head, and the fight's going to be over in 2 rounds. Then I'm going to knock this dude out in spectacular fashion, and you're going to want to sign me. I gotta go knock this kid out now, I said too much.
Even though O'Malley laughed it off as he better knock this guy out, as Sean said a lot of stuff before the fight. At the actual fight day, he was more than confident. Alfred immediately starts to pressure O'Malley, hunting for his head. O'Malley did a great job at countering, throwing shots with his and proceeds to randomly press every single button on the controller. Eventually, a heavy right hand knocks Kashakian out badly. It was one of the most viral knockouts of 2017, and it was the first time we ever heard about Sugar Show from Sean.
What'd you say to Dana at the end there?
I said, welcome to the Sugar Show.
Even Dana White was very impressed with Sean as he congratulated him after the fight.
I'm looking for flashy. I'm looking for somebody who has that
And the UFC was looking for a replacement. Chris Mutino steps up and plans to make his UFC debut on short notice.
A lot of people think it's a lose-lose for me. I make a lot of money, go out there and knock this kid out. This kid's tough. This is not, I watched one of his fights this morning for the first time. He's not just a scrub. He's not a nobody. He's not he is kind of a nobody. No one really knows who he is, but to be fair, not a lot of people know who Simon is really. I mean, he's beat a couple dudes in the UFC. I couldn't tell you how many fights he's even had in the UFC. So yeah, he comes in there, shocks the world. It's a huge fight for him. Props for him just, stepping up to take it.
not so much just a weakness. He's very talented, explosive kid. But I just don't think somebody's been in there to push him that way. You know what I mean? The only time he ever was kind of pushed was the Cheeto fight, and I think I'm just gonna stay in his face, man, and put the pressure. And I think that's something that he's not comfortable with.
Both fighters told the truth before the fight. Sean was right saying that Chris is a tough guy, and Chris was not lying when he said he was going to put pressure on O'Malley from the very first second to the end of the fight with his face. Sean was lighting him up with so many strikes that it was not clear if Chris's chin is from this planet or not. But both fighters impressed a lot in this fight. Chris by walking his opponent down like a tank without any feeling out process, and Sean by pushing the pace for all 3 rounds and getting slightly fatigued only at the very end of the fight. O'Malley wins TKO in the 3rd round. Without any exaggeration, one of the best fights of 2021. Thomas Almeida was undefeated in 2016, had a record of 21-0 and was ranked number 7 in the bantamweight division. Everyone expected him to be a future champion and that he would become the next best thing in the weight class. But Cody Garbrandt messed these plans up by knocking Almeida out in the 1st round. After that, Thomas was never the same and had only 1 win in 6 years. His last fight in the world's biggest league was supposed to be against Sean O'Malley. Sean lost all his fans in a matter of seconds and even posted the following tweet: "I just want the fans back." Classic. Every time a fighter loses a step, he is no longer supported. Redemption fight was targeted at UFC 260 on March the 27th, 2021.
Man, I really think he's an elite fighter, but yeah, he needs to show that. You know, he's a good fighter, but he needs to show him, prove it.
No, I was excited about that fight. He's a good kickboxer. His last 3 fights, he's lost to good people, like really good guys. So it's, you know, I think he's a legitimate opponent. I think looking at it from that perspective, saying, oh, he's coming off 3 losses, like, you know, he's still a dangerous opponent, and he's coming off 3 losses, which might make him more dangerous.
Sean kept saying that he was still undefeated, as his loss to Chito Vera was rather controversial. This statement made a lot of fans angry, but for Sean, it was part of the show, part of the sugar show. It seemed like Sean was not even trying. Countless attacks with straight punches, spinning kicks, and brilliant footwork. Sean stepped back to celebrate this victory, but the referee said that the fight is still on. Ada in the 3rd round. Great knockout and an undoubtedly spectacular performance on track. Unfortunately, Thomas was released after this fight, as his record was 1-5 in his last 6 fights. Speaking about Sean, currently he is on a 3-fight winning streak. Eddie Wineland. I believe that this fight deserves a number 1 spot, as it's the biggest win in Sean's career at the moment. Eddie Wineland is the former bantamweight title contender. Many remember how he lost to Renan Barão by a spinning kick to the head. Wineland is also a former WEC bantamweight champion. After his loss to Barão, Eddie had ups and downs, but he was coming into the fight with Sean off his knockout win over Grigory Popov. The veteran who fought for the belt in the past was supposed to be a test for Sean to pass. Sean was coming back from his injury that put the Irishman out of the game for 2 years. Sean successfully returned, knocking out Jose Quinones in March 2020, and in June he already had a fight with Eddie.
Whether he comes forward and pushes the action, he'll get knocked out, or if he lets me push him backwards, he'll get knocked out. So it just works out perfect.
You know, I've been in there and mixed it up with the best in the world. Uriah Faber, Benavidez, you know, Brad Pickett, Scott Jorgensen, you know, all those guys. I've mixed it up with them. You know, not that Sean couldn't do it. I feel he could go in there and he could mix it up very well with those guys. But I've been there and done that, so I know how to adapt to that. I think that's an advantage in my court.
Wineland was supposed to be a serious test for the young and hungry Sean O'Malley. In every interview before the fight, Sean said that he wants to deliver a viral knockout and sends Eddie directly to the Morpheus Kingdom. An absolutely devastating knockout without a chance to survive. Sean earns a huge win against a well-known name in Eddie Wineland. A number 10 ranked Pedro Munoz is going to be the first serious test for Sean at UFC 276. We will see how Sean performs against such a tough opposition. I hope that Sean keeps winning. He is a very entertaining character. That's the end of our video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel and like it. See you soon.
Hit that sub.